Watched Home Alone on the weekend for probably the first time in maybe, like, I can't remember the last time I saw Home Alone. I definitely watched both of them when I was a kid, but I can't remember the last time I actually sat down and watched Home Alone in full. And the first thing I realized is there's so much stuff that, because it must have been when I was a kid, like 10 years old or younger. There is so much stuff in that movie I just completely forgot about. My entire memory of the movie as a kid is just like this goofy, like cartoonish, Looney Tunes-ish slapstick comedy where, Macaulay Culkin is protecting his house. And in my memory, the whole movie is him basically doing the traps on the guys who are coming to the house. It's not. Like, that's like 10 minutes of the movie. There's so much more to this movie. And it's a great movie. Chris Columbus directed it. Of course, he goes on to direct Harry Potter, the first two, and he produced the third one. That's relevant for something I want to talk about later. But fantastic movie. Actually had me in tears in one point because, again, I forgot there's this the beautiful scene in the church where there's this guy who lives next door to the family who's like this creepy old guy, or they think he's scary. He comes up to Kevin in the church and says, "You don't have to be scared of me, blah, blah, blah." And he says, like, I haven't seen my son in years because we had a big fight. And Kevin tells him to ring his son. Genuinely, like, reduced me to tears. I don't know. I'm getting older. And at the end, you see him reuniting with his son through the window. Really, really beautiful movie. Completely went over my head as a kid. So much of the movie went over my head as a kid. Like, but there are still points of the slapstick. Like, the moment where one of the robbers steps on the nail. I remembered that so vividly. Like that, I was like, yeah, I remember exactly what happens here. And I remember the feelings I felt as a kid watching that movie, right? The first thing I noticed about Home Alone is obviously Chris Columbus directed it. As I said, he goes on to direct the first two Harry Potter movies. And he's clearly a director that works really well with kids. And I think that shows through movies like Home Alone and Harry Potter. John Williams also did the score for Home Alone. John Williams, one of the most famous movie composers of all time, scored films like Home Alone, Jurassic Park, like all these classic themes, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, like seriously some of the biggest movies of all time are scored by John Williams. He wrote the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme. Dun, 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 dun. He wrote Indiana Jones's theme. Dun, 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 dun. He the Jurassic Park theme. Dun, 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 dun. Excuse my renditions of them, and of course the Harry Potter theme. Dun, 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 right? All these iconic themes came out of this guy's head, and he's a brilliant composer. And I'm not sure if it's just because I have a background in music. I performed music, like I was in a performing choir for most of my school days, as you may know. I play guitar, I play piano, I used to play violin. Like I have a lot of music theory and a lot of understanding of music. What if I told you John Williams wrote the theme to Harry Potter before the book was even released? How is that possible, you ask? I have reason to believe that John Williams repurposed a tune from Home Alone, which he also scored, and turned it into the Harry Potter theme. I know this is a big conspiracy, but I wouldn't put it past him to repurpose like a little motif and turn it into a theme. I believe he did this because as I was watching Home Alone for the first time since I was a kid, I distinctly heard the Harry Potter theme within another track in Home Alone. So this, of course, is Hedwig's theme, which is the main theme, or more the main motif from Harry Potter. It's the melody of dun 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 dun. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this from the Home Alone soundtrack, the track titled Setting the Trap, is this not the Harry Potter theme? Okay, it's a little bit different melodically, but it is pretty similar. So the Harry Potter one is dun 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 dun. This one goes dun 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 dun. So it's a little bit different rhythmically, but listen again. Here's Harry Potter. John Williams repurposed a song from Home Alone to create one of the most iconic movie themes of all time. He recycled. It's a very clear recycling. I posted this on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. Few people said, yeah, you can also hear, I didn't grab this audio. He's like, you can also hear some of the Quidditch music in Home Alone. And to be honest, I'm not calling John Williams out. I think this is totally fair. I mean, it's very clear that melody was in his head, right? Of course, it's arranged very differently and arrangement matters a lot, but that melody is there, whether he knew or not that he was taking it, it's there. This is the biggest problem with Home Alone. Kevin, Macaulay Culkin's character, is constantly being mocked, gaslit, belittled, bullied, and abused by his family, not just the children like his cousins and his brothers and sisters, but the adults in his life as well, particularly his uncle, who literally calls him a jerk in front of everyone. Like, imagine if your uncle in front of your whole family just looked at you and said, look what you did, you little jerk, right? So Kevin is abused by his family the whole movie. They literally forget to bring him on the holiday, right? And then at the end of the movie, no joke, at the end of the movie, they all come back and they all look at Kevin and there's like this moment of, you know what, Kevin, you're not so bad after all. We did miss you and we love you. And Kevin sort of like gets the approval from his cousin Buzz, who is just a mean bully to him. And it's like, it's almost made out as though Kevin wanted that the whole time, like this approval, but it's just this empty, like, abusive, gaslighting, belittling ending. Like, even the mum who is mean to him and forgets, like, the mum doesn't defend him when he's blamed for things that are definitely not his fault. He constantly is blamed for stuff at the start of the movie that's not caused by him. And if anything, he's only lashing out because he's being severely abused by his family. And then at the end, we're supposed to see them all reunite and think, yeah, this is a great ending for Kevin. It's not. I actually would have rather Kevin never returned to his family and the family dies on the way home from the trip and Kevin just gets to keep living independently like he's proven he is able to. Because Kevin should not be with his family because they bully him so much, as is evident in Home Alone 2 when the exact same people are doing the exact same thing to him. Like, he's literally being gaslit by his entire family to be made to feel like he's a bad person. They literally forget him when they're going on holiday. And then, like, for whatever reason, the ending is, oh, we missed you so much. It really grinds my gears. Like, I actually hated it. As a kid, I don't even remember the ending really, but like as an adult, I'm like, that is not what you should be teaching children, that like, even if your family treats you like shit, you should just be happy that they're around and you've got them. Because no, like, Kevin is being abused in this household. There is no doubt in my mind that Kevin is being abused in this household, and that is not a good thing for Kevin. Kevin should be taken out of that house. Those are my thoughts on Home Alone. Mic drop.